So all we're going to do in this video is set up the project for the rest of the other videos. So at first we're going to open up the terminal and run npm init svelte. Click enter, select yes, select the skeleton project for the svelte at template, select TypeScript syntax, and select no additional options. Then we're going to install some of the dependencies. First dependencies are going to be Pocketbase, so npm install Pocketbase and uuid. Once those are done installing, run the command npm install --save dev to flag it as a dev dependency at types/uuid. Once those are done installing, close the terminal and go over to the Pocketbase docs right at pocketbase.io/docs. Then download the zip file for your specific machine or operating system. For mine, it's Mac OS, so I'm going to click it. I'm going to download, so I'm going to open it up. Drag this folder that you just downloaded over to VS Code. So let's say copy folder, and then rename it to Pocketbase. So now in the terminal, open the folder, cd Pocketbase, and then say /Pocketbase serve. You should see two links, one to the REST API and one to the admin UI. Click the link to the admin UI. So then let's create an account. So now in the admin panel, you should see one collection with the name of users. Click on plus new collection and type in the name games. Now we're going to add the fields. The first field we're going to add is a current player field, which is going to be a select. So click select, and this is going to be named current_player. And we're going to use snake case for each of the parameters. So we're going to say x and 0, x and O, not 0. So then let's create a new field called player x. So this is going to be a relation to the user. So this is going to be player x to users. And now let's create another relation called player O, and this is also to another user. Now let's create the game, which is going to be a JSON. And for the JSON, we don't have to define a schema, but let's just name it game. Now let's create a new one. Now let's create a new field called Boolean. Now let's create a new Boolean field called active. And then let's create one last one. Actually, another one called game ID, which is going to be a string. Where's the string? Plain text. So it's going to be game_ID. And finally, for the last field, we're going to add a select, which is going to be a winner. Let's be x, comma 0. The comma divides the different options, so it's either x or 0. So now let's get the current player, and let's say this is not empty, non-empty. That means this cannot be null. So now for this one, let's also expand it and let's say non-empty. For player O, we're going to leave it as empty. So now let's go to the game, and this is going to be a not nullable. So non-empty, active also. No, actually, active is already not nullable because it's a Boolean. Game ID, let's set it to non-empty. And winner, we can set it to empty. Now let's go over to the API rules. In the API rules, we can specify the rules to determine what are the rights for the users to query and to write to this exact collection. So for example, if you want to list or search through the collection of games, we would have to specify rules in order for the user to be able to do that. But for now, because we have the green lock, only admins can search through and view, create, update, and delete some of the games. Let's make sure list search is set to everyone. So in the little green lock, we just press the green lock and leave this empty, granting everyone access. And in the view rule, we also set it to empty. So now in the create rule, we set at request.auth.id cannot be an empty string. That means that the user has an ID, and that means he is authenticated. Ampersand ampersand at request dot auth dot ID is equal to at request dot data dot player x dot ID. So what this does is it makes sure that the person creating the game has the same ID as the player X. So now let's go to the update rule. We could copy this down. And since the update rule, we could also have a player O update. We could say this, or with the double bars, or at request dot ID is equal to at request dot auth, dot data dot player O dot ID. Wait, let's remove the ID from here, and let's remove the ID from here. And now for the delete rule, we're not gonna have any rule for the delete. Then let's click create. And that's it. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day.